Welcome to this comprehensive step-by-step tutorial on replacing 2 bathroom wall tiles after removing electrical switches. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced tile installer, this video will walk you through every stage of the process, slowly, clearly, and professionally, so you can follow along at your own pace. Let's begin by setting the scene. We're in a finished bathroom where 2 wall tiles need to be replaced. The reason? An electrical switch has been removed, leaving an exposed box in the wall, and the surrounding tiles are now either damaged or no longer needed. Replacing them will restore the clean and polished look of the wall. Before anything else, safety comes first. Always turn off the power from the main breaker box. Never work around electrical wiring unless you're absolutely sure the power is off. Double check with a voltage tester if available. With the power off, carefully remove the electrical switch cover using a flathead screwdriver. Then, remove the switch itself, pulling it gently from the box while keeping the wires intact. You can cap the wires or push them safely back into the box. Use painter's tape to seal the box temporarily. This will prevent debris or tile dust from falling inside during the process. Now that the area is safe and clear, we turn our attention to the tiles. We identify the exact 2 tiles that need to be replaced. Take a moment to inspect the surrounding tiles. Are they stable? Are they firmly attached? We want to make sure that during the removal process, we don't damage nearby tiles. Use painter's tape to outline the perimeter of the tiles you want to remove. This protects the tiles next to them and creates a visual guide for your tools. To help prevent cracking or chipping of adjacent tiles, use a utility knife to carefully score the grout lines around the tile. This step is important. It weakens the grout and helps isolate the tile you want to remove. Now, using a hammer and chisel, we begin the removal. Start at the center of the tile, tapping lightly at first to break it. Once the surface begins to fracture, you can increase the pressure slightly and start lifting out the broken pieces. Be patient. Removing a tile without damaging others takes time. Clean the surface as you go, and use a vacuum or brush to keep the area free of sharp debris. Once both tiles are removed, we're left with exposed adhesive, some uneven wall surface, and possible remnants of old grout or cement. This needs to be cleaned thoroughly. Use a flat scraper or putty knife to remove all leftover adhesive. Depending on how the tile was installed, this step might take some time. It's important to have a flat and even surface before installing new tiles. Once clean, wipe the surface with a damp sponge to remove dust and residue. Let it dry completely before applying new adhesive. Now comes the preparation of the new tiles. Make sure the replacement tiles are the same size, thickness, and finish as the surrounding ones. Dry fit them in place to test how they will look. Check for gaps. See if they align perfectly with the existing tile layout. Take your tile adhesive, either pre-mixed or powder mixed with water, and apply a thin layer onto the wall using a notched trowel. The size of the notches depends on the size of the tile. For standard ceramic wall tiles, a small V-notch or square notch trowel works well. Spread the adhesive evenly, combing in one direction to create ridges. This ensures proper coverage and helps the tile bond evenly with the surface. Place the tile slowly and press it firmly into the adhesive. Move it slightly in a circular motion to bed it into place. Use tile spacers if necessary to match the grout line spacing of the existing tiles. Repeat the same process for the second tile. Use a level to make sure both tiles are aligned properly and flush with the surface. You can adjust slightly at this stage while the adhesive is still wet. Now, let the adhesive cure. The curing time will vary depending on the product. It could be anywhere from 4 to 24 hours. It's important not to grout until the adhesive is completely dry. Once cured, it's time to grout. Mix your grout according to the manufacturer's instructions. Use a rubber float to apply it diagonally across the tile joints, pressing the grout firmly into the gaps. Remove excess grout with the float held at an angle. Then use a damp sponge to gently clean the tile surface, wiping diagonally and rinsing frequently. After 10 to 15 minutes, a slight haze may form. Use a clean, dry cloth to buff the tiles and remove that haze, leaving a clean and smooth finish. Now, let the grout dry fully. This could take up to a day depending on humidity and ventilation. Once the grout is fully set, remove the tape from the electrical box and carefully reinstall the switch. Reconnect the wires properly, secure the switch, and screw the cover plate back on. If you're unsure about wiring, consult a licensed electrician at this point. Finally, inspect the wall. The new tiles are installed cleanly. No mess, no mismatches. The wall now looks as if it was never touched, but better. What you've just seen is a full repair process done right. Safe electrical removal, precise tile extraction, careful surface prep, professional tile setting, flawless, grouting and cleaning. All done with patience, attention, and skill. Remember, small repairs like these can make a big difference in your space. When done properly, they restore the function and beauty of your bathroom without the need for full renovations. Thank you for watching this long-format instructional video. We hope you found the process easy to follow and satisfying to watch. Stay tuned for more professional videos in ceramic tile installation, marble work, terrazzo, and advanced finishing techniques, all shared with no voice commentary, but now with this guided narration to help you master the craft. Now that the tiles are installed and grouted, let's take a few minutes to talk about important finishing touches and common mistakes to avoid, especially if you want the results to look truly professional. First, let's revisit the cleaning stage. Even after buffing the tiles once the grout has dried, a grout haze might still appear later. This is a light powdery film that sits on the surface of the tile and dulls its finish. To remove it, you can use a grout haze remover or a diluted solution of vinegar and water. Gently wipe the tile surface with a soft cloth, avoiding the joints, where the vinegar could weaken the grout. Take your time with this. A perfectly clean surface makes a huge visual difference, especially under good lighting. Next, examine the grout lines closely. Are they even and consistent? Any small holes or air pockets in the grout can cause cracking later. If you find any, simply mix a small batch of grout and press it into the gaps using your fingertip or a corner of the rubber float. Let it dry and wipe again. One pro tip is to apply a grout sealer once everything is fully dry. This adds water resistance, prevents staining, and makes future cleaning easier. Apply the sealer using a small brush or sponge applicator, being careful not to let it pool on the tile surface. Now let's talk about tile alignment and wall flatness. It's important that your new tiles sit flush with the existing ones. If the tiles stick out even a millimeter, they will catch the light differently and become very noticeable. The same goes for being recessed too deeply. A simple way to check is by running your fingers across the tile edges. If you feel a noticeable bump, it means the tile isn't level. For future installations, you can use tile leveling clips to help maintain a flat surface, especially when working with large or uneven tiles. Let's now go deeper into surface preparation, because that's where many DIY mistakes begin. When removing the old tile, many people rush through the cleanup phase. They leave behind chunks of thin set or adhesive, thinking that the new tile will just cover it. But in reality, any remaining bumps under the surface can push the tile outward, create hollow spots, or lead to weak bonding. If you ever hear a hollow sound when tapping a tile, it could mean there's a gap underneath caused by poor adhesive coverage. This can lead to future cracks. That's why it's so important to scrape down the surface completely and reapply a smooth, even layer of adhesive. Another crucial step: using the right amount of adhesive. Too much adhesive will squeeze out around the edges, making grouting messy. Too little will fail to support the tile. As a general rule, you should have full coverage on the back of the tile, ideally 95% or more, especially in wet areas like bathrooms. You can always back butter the tile, apply adhesive to the tile itself for added grip if needed. Let's now revisit the electrical switch reintegration. After tile installation, you'll need to ensure that the switch sits flush against the new tile surface. If the tile thickness has changed even slightly, the switch might be recessed too far or stick out awkwardly. To fix this, you can use electrical box extenders, which are available at most hardware stores. They help bring the switch forward to sit evenly with the surface of the tile. Take your time reconnecting the wires. Make sure all connections are tight and that the grounding wire is properly attached. Safety is always your #1 priority when dealing with electricity. If you're unsure about how to handle the wiring, do not hesitate to call a licensed electrician. Now, let's reflect on project cleanup and visual inspection. Once the area is complete, remove all protective coverings, clean up debris, vacuum the floor, and give the entire wall a final wipe down. These last touches can turn a good job into a flawless finish. Step back and inspect your work from different angles, from below, above, and from the side. Good lighting will reveal any imperfections in spacing or finish. If you document your work or are creating content like this video, take photos before and after. This helps you see your progress and builds your portfolio if you're working as a tile installer. Finally, let's go over some long-term care tips for the tiled surface. Clean the tiles regularly with non-acidic cleaners to prevent wear. Avoid abrasive pads that can dull the tile finish. Check the grout every 6 to 12 months, especially in bathrooms where humidity is high. If a tile cracks in the future, remove and replace it using the same method you've just learned. Congratulations! You've just completed a professional repair that will last for years. With patience and the right tools, even a small tile replacement job like this can be done with high-quality results. And remember, tile work isn't just about skill, it's about patience, preparation, and precision. Thank you for staying with us through this full-length video. If you enjoyed the process and want to master more professional tile, marble, or terrazzo